welcome to this week's Ask A Spoonie. Today's question is, have you ever gotten comments or advice about your illness that you know was meant to be helpful but was really more hurtful? I have gotten many of these comments living with a chronic illness for almost 5 years now, and I've written some of them down, and by saying them, I am not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to make fun of those people that have said them to me, because they're trying to be helpful to me by saying this. The first one that I've written down is, I'm sure it would go away if you didn't think about it. It's all in your head. Now this one gets to me because some people believe that a chronic illness, it's just in your head, that if you stop thinking about feeling pain or feeling sick, that it will just go away. A chronic illness can't just go away like that. That's why it's called chronic. Just know that when someone says that they are in pain or they don't feel like doing something, then it's not as simple as just not thinking about it. The second comment is, I'm sorry. Now, I'm actually guilty of saying this one to new friends that I've made, because sometimes you just don't know what to say to someone who's going through such a hard time, and sometimes I'm sorry is the only way to say something. And as someone with a chronic illness, and as someone that has even said this before, it's just such a broad word, and there are so many other things that you could say to someone, and I honestly just don't like pity. Like, I don't want someone coming up to me and just feeling all this pity towards me when this is my life, this is how I live. It's fine to say you're sorry. It's just like if you're friends or if you're family. When it's complete strangers, I've had complete strangers come up to me when I'm in my wheelchair or if I'm not able to walk, and they just say, I'm sorry, and I'm like, this is my life. You don't need to apologize for the way that I lived my life. The third comment is, but you don't look sick. I get this comment so many times, because when I'm in my wheelchair, people look instantly at my legs. They look at me and go, but you look normal. Yes, I'm a normal person. I just, like, do you want to see what's inside my body? It would, like, if I looked like what my insides looked like what if everyone with a chronic illness lived with, like, looked exactly like their illness would, then we would look sick. But you can't see a chronic illness, it's invisible. And by saying you don't look sick, or that you don't look tired, you don't look like you're in pain, it's just, it can be offensive to someone with a chronic illness, because yeah, we don't look sick, we look normal because it's invisible. The fourth comment is, it must be nice to be able to miss school or work all the time. Now, when you live with a chronic illness, you can miss school, work, whatever, multiple times, to the doctor's appointments, to being in pain. There's so many different variables to why you would miss daily activities. And I know for me that I don't like missing school. School is my happy place. School makes me so full of joy, and I hate missing it due to doctor's appointments or being stuck in the hospital. And I'm like, people don't realize how much they'll miss something until it's gone. I was hospital homebound for almost an entire year, and I missed so much. I missed being able to hang out with my friends. I missed being in a classroom. And sometimes you just don't know what you'll miss until it's taken away. I don't like missing school. I don't like missing anything. And by saying that comment, it is somewhat offensive to someone with a chronic illness, especially if they've just been diagnosed or if they currently are missing school, because we don't want to miss out on daily activities. We want to feel normal. We don't want to let our chronic illness take over our life, if that makes sense. The fifth comment is, have you tried blah blah blah? I get this a lot from people that don't have a chronic illness. Now, I understand that you're trying to help me by, if you're saying, I found this herbal remedy online, it could help you, it could cure you. And with most chronic illnesses, there is no cure. Like, I'm not going to be cured anytime soon, and that's just a hard fact I have to live with, but I live with it. And if you're not a doctor, if you're not someone, like, if you're just not in the medical world and you're trying to tell me that you have something, it's just, it's hard to listen to that knowing that you don't understand like what I'm going through. I want to help you try and understand what's happening. And that statement is somewhat offensive to someone with a chronic illness, because we have tried most ways to help with our chronic illness. Like, we don't want to be sick. We don't want to be living in constant pain. But there are just some things that you can't get rid of, and sometimes you can't get rid of the pain. There are just some things in life that you can't get rid of, and we've tried everything we possibly can, and sometimes, and we're glad that you want to help us by saying, have you tried? Like, we know that your best intention is to help, but let our doctors do that, let our nurses do that, let our care team do that for us. You don't realize what you're saying before you say it, especially if you don't know a lot about the chronic illness this person is living with. When you say that you know how someone feels, you are saying that you understand their pain, but everyone's pain is different. Everyone is living with a different, even if you have the same chronic illness, or you have a mother that you have an aunt of a friend who has the same chronic illness as the person you're talking to. Everyone is different. Not every person is the same. So when you're saying that you know how that person feels, you're saying you know that exact pain, you know the exact emotions that person is going through, and that is very, very rare. There are other ways that you can say that you know how that person feels. Just be there for that person. Don't give them pity, just be there for them when they're going through this hard time. And the last comment is one that I get quite frequently, and it is, "You are so lucky to be able to sit in a wheelchair all day." Now this comment, now that I look back at a ton of situations and stories that have happened to me, I laugh at this comment. And it's not to be mean, it's just I like to bring a sense of humor to all of my strange stories. But this comment, it's because I'm in a wheelchair a lot in public, and when people do the other same comment as "you don't look sick," I also get the "you're so lucky to be in a wheelchair." Now, I don't think that anyone is lucky to be in a wheelchair. I would give anything to be able to walk around in public without feeling any pain, without feeling anything, and just walking with friends, walking. Like, the idea of walking is frightening, but yet it's so amazing to feel like walking. And to be in a wheelchair and have someone say that to you, like, I'm not in a wheelchair because of my choice. I'm in a wheelchair because my body decided to put me in a wheelchair. And it's hard to explain. I don't mean to be offensive to anybody, and I know that these people are just trying to be nice when they're saying that, give certain light on or humor to the subject, and it's different if it's friends. Like, I have me and my friends and my family, we joke all the time about me being in a wheelchair. We talk about like just silly things, that they're my friends, they're my family, and I let them do that because we make jokes about it. But when you're a complete stranger and you come up to me and you say that, and I don't know who you are, like, that's, to me, it's just offensive because you don't know my situation. I'm not pretending to be sick. I'm not pretending to be in a wheelchair just so I can sit online at an amusement park or something. I'm sitting in a wheelchair because I have to. It's not my choice. I have to sit in a wheelchair to be able to do normal activities. So I don't mean to be offensive by saying any of this. These are some comments that necessarily shouldn't be said to someone with a chronic illness. Like I said before, I'm guilty of saying some of these to new friends I made just because some situations you don't know what to say, and you automatically say these things, and I even mentally facepalm myself like, oh, I've had that said to me before and I just really don't appreciate it. Now that you know about some of these comments, try not to say them to someone that you know is chronically ill. You can't help it if you say it to someone and you have no idea if they're chronically ill, but if you do know that they're chronically ill and you said them, if you say that to some person, don't apologize for saying it, just know that in the future, try not to say them again. And there are other ways that you can speak to someone that's chronically ill. Speak to them like they're normal again. Speak to them like just a friend. Just because someone's chronically ill doesn't mean you have to treat them any differently than how you treat everyone that's normal per se. So I hope this helped in some way. Again, I don't mean any offense by this, and I hope you all have an amazing week.